Welcome to The Real Deal, where it's all about real estate and related businesses in central Massachusetts and northeastern Connecticut. And now, your host who can't get enough about real estate and marketing, Anthony Shabbat of Shabbat & Associates.
Welcome to the show, Joe.
Hey, thanks, Tony. It's good to be here with you today.
Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Northpoint Mortgage is located in the northeast corner of Connecticut. We're on 16 South Main Street. And we're a family-based, family-owned, New England-based lender. We have 12 offices throughout New England. We're in Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And we have this nice little branch here in Putnam.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a great location. I love northeastern Connecticut. I work a lot in central Massachusetts, so our areas definitely cross over. And today we're in Putnam, Connecticut, which is my favorite town in northeastern Connecticut.
Absolutely, wonderful place to be. Yeah.
So, can you tell us what's your take on the current housing market?
Well, of course, we had our little bubble a few years ago where kind of gave us a downturn in the economy. But since then, the market's been making some slow recovery, which is what we want. And basically in most of southern Mass and northern Connecticut here, we've seen some slow growth, 3-5% or so per year, year over year. And that's really what you want to see to remain in a nice equitable position. So the housing market is on the increase. It's definitely a good time to buy a home.
Very good. I was actually just listening to the National Association of Realtors. They have their own podcast called Real Estate Today, and they go over all the monthly numbers. And it's actually really informative to listen to it because you get all the latest information. They have experts in their fields go on there. And I think they were saying something about this year it's still low inventory. Actually, I think they said it's 25% less inventory than last year. So we're actually coming into the spring market with a little bit less inventory than we even had last year, which was a low inventory. Where do you see interest rates?
Let's back up on that a little bit. What helps with the low inventory is it makes those houses are a little bit more in demand. So that's helping stimulate the growth of sales prices. There's less homes, so people are getting what they're asking for them, which is really what we want to see.
Where do you see the interest rates going in the short term?
Interest rates have been pretty flat for the last handful of years, which is a good thing. We keep seeing them fluctuate up slightly and down slightly, but they've remained fairly level over the last 3 to 5 years. We always like to say there's a lot more room for rates to go up than there are for them to go down. We still are historically low. At some point, rates will go up, but what's been happening lately is they go up slightly, and it kind of deters people from buying. It freezes the market a little bit, and people kind of go back into the turtle shell for a minute. It's like, oh no, rates have approached 5% again, which is still historically very low, but they've seen rates in the low 4% for so long that people kind of hesitate a little bit, and then the rates will drop back down a little bit, stimulate the economy again. But I really think we're going to remain fairly level in the low 4% range for the next 12 months or so. I really don't think the economy is doing that great.
Right. Yep. And I remember when I bought my house back in 2003, I think the rates were about 6.5.
Yep.
So, in the last...
Yeah, for sure. I bought my first house in 2000, and I got like an 8% interest rate, which we thought was fantastic.
Right. Yeah, course, we were pretty happy back then.
Then everybody's housing price went up, and we had the little boom, and everyone refinanced in 2005 and 2006, and everything crashed. And upon the crash is when all the rates went down, because now they're trying to stimulate people to buy. So they want to entice people to buy. Rates have gone down.
Right.
As the economy is improving and people are buying houses, rates are going to come back up a little bit because the demand is there. So rates will go up.
Excellent. Okay. So on to the next question. What kinds of programs are available to home buyers?
Well, there's, depending on the demographic of where you live, here in Northeast Connecticut, one of the most popular programs that we use is the USDA program. It also works in southern Mass. You really have to look at what the demographic map is, but it's geared more towards the rural areas, which of course all of Northeast Connecticut is, and that is a 100% financing program. So people are getting in with little to no money down, and it's just a fantastic way to go. Also VA, great program, another 100% program, no money down, very low PMI. It's a fantastic deal. FHA, of course, is always there, 3.5% down. And then you've got your conventional programs with as little as 3 to 5% down also.
So with USDA loans, You have to be in a certain area for those, right?
Yep. Rural area. Yep.
So
VA, no limitation. Be wherever you want. FHA, also any place you want.
So if you're a veteran, you can get a loan anywhere.
Correct.
USDA has certain locations they have to be in, and then the FHA is
anywhere you want.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
They have certain requirements for the house has to meet certain requirements.
Yeah, most of those government programs want the house to have no peeling paint, all the utilities working, basically a livable, functioning home. They're really kind of trying to protect the buyer from any major deficiencies that'll be with the property. So ideally you're looking for something that's fairly turnkey. The property can be dated. It could have a 60s kitchen with shag rugs in the living room. That doesn't matter, so long as all the utilities are there and there's the holes in the wall, that kind of fun stuff.
Okay, actually that brings up a good point for new home buyers that are looking to learn more about buying a home. You have a continuing events occasionally that people can sign up for if
Absolutely.
They want to learn more?
Yeah, we've got some Facebook events happening. We do have a home buyer seminar coming up on January 24th over here at Victoria Station in Putnam, which is 81 Main Street. It's a fantastic location. They got a little loft space upstairs, and we're going to do coffee and pastries and a little Victoria Station drawing for a card. But it's a great time to come in and learn a little more about the programs. Look at what the actual costs are, the benefits of owning versus renting, and it's a nice little place to start to understand, what the benefits are to owning a home.
I love Victoria Station Cafe. It's one of my favorite places in northeastern Connecticut, and Dave Anderson, the owner, has done a lot.
Dave's a great guy. My
stuff.
daughter's actually a barista there also, so
That's awesome.
I go over there all the time. They're great people.
So, how long is that event?
It's going to be about an hour. It's going to start at 6. We're going to have a little introduction time, get to know each other a little bit, and then the actual presentation is about 30 to 40 minutes. So we should be done by 7.
And if people want to be notified about future events, can you give contact information? We'll have you to give it at the end again also, but just while we're on the topic.
Yep, certainly. You can find me on Facebook. It's Northpoint Mortgage, Joe Deery, and my last name is spelled Deery, unlike the large Deery family that's here in Northeast Connecticut. And then my phone number is 860-942-3855, and we're right here on 16 South Main Street in Putnam.
Did you already give your email address and your web address?
My email address is jdeery@trynorthpoint.com, and try is TRY, like give us a try, trynorthpoint.com.
And your phone number?
860-942-3855.
All right, so on to the next question. How does a client go about figuring out what they can qualify to do as far as how much they can afford?
So first thing you want to do is give me a call. We'll talk about your situation. Everyone's a little unique, what they're trying to do, what their needs are. We're going to evaluate your income, your assets, and figure out what you can do. The easiest way to get that process started is to go out to my website, to jdeery.com, and that's jdeery.com, and start an application there. And that's going to give us a very clear snapshot of what we can do for you. It's going to allow me to pull your credit, look at your assets and your income versus your liabilities, and figure out where you qualify and what program you qualify for.
Is there a certain credit score, FICO score that people need?
It depends on the program. Ideally you want to be, to get the best deal, you want to be at least in the mid 600s. We do have some programs that are down to 580, but they start layering in criteria there. As the credit goes down, it becomes more stringent to get the loan. So the higher your credit score, the better deal you're going to get overall. And certainly if we get into application with you and credit's not quite where it needs to be, we can help you make a few decisions there to get your credit score to come up to get you a more optimal deal.
Okay, and then do you also have a certain income requirement in order to qualify for a certain amount of money? I know it gets a little complicated there.
It gets a little complicated. That really depends on what your liabilities are. But you'll qualify for a loan at any level of income. It just, that will amount to how much of a loan you qualify for. So as far as like limitations go, you can apply for a loan and get qualified for a certain amount at any income level. A couple of the loan programs do have income limits. Like USDA limits how much money the household can make. It's roughly $100,000, which is fairly liberal in the area for a family of 4. But really that's about the only limitation.
Okay, and then what's the difference between a 30-year mortgage and a 15-year mortgage? Is that something a first-time home buyer would consider, or would that be more typically a different type of buyer?
So your 30-year mortgage obviously spreads the payment out a little bit further. You're going to qualify for more of a home loan because your payment is spread out further. Your payment's not as heavy. The 15-year home loan is usually for your person that's, buying their second or third home, or is a little bit further out in life and, is looking for a shorter term situation. Most people are going for the 30-year fixed rate home loan.
Alrighty, and I know you said a lot of the loans require no money. They allow for no money down. Is that right?
USDA is no money down, 100%. VA, no money down, 100%. FHA, you're going to put 3.5% down. And then we have conventional products with as little as 3% down.
Wow, okay.
Each one of those, though, like, people shouldn't get confused about like the no money down thing. There's still expense to buying a home that is not necessarily part of the loan. You're still going to have an appraisal done to determine the value of the property. There's still inspections that you want to have done. You're going to do mechanical and structural inspections. You're going to want to have the septic inspected, the water water checked, all that kind of stuff. Right. And those are all out-of-pocket expenses. So even though you can get a loan for 100%, you still need to have a couple $1,000s of your own monies to work with to be able to make a deposit on the contract and get all of your inspections and whatnot taken care of.
Then actually, how about closing costs? What is the...
Closing costs, there's a big blanket of fees there. Closing costs are kind of not really compared apples to apples. It depends on who you're talking to. They'll disclose if you ask somebody closing costs, they'll disclose their fee instead of the whole nut. And we were talking about lending fees, attorney's fees, homeowners insurance, escrows for tax and insurance. When you're incorporating all of those fees, it becomes several $1,000s. So people, when they're shopping for home loans, need to be really careful, because it's hard to compare one estimate to another, because typically they're not putting the same amount of fees in. We like to disclose everything that's involved in closing a home loan, so there is no surprise. So the numbers you're going to see from me may potentially seem bigger than they might elsewhere, but they're the reality of what you're going to have to do. Closing costs also can be rolled into your home loan. So typically, like, you're making an offer on a house, you're asking for the seller to give you a small concession to help offset some of that cost. And that's, again, like when you're getting into the 100% financing fees, where you're asking for the concession from the seller and you're getting into the home with practically no money down. So you potentially might be making an offer for $100,000, asking for a $5,000 concession from the seller to pay your closing costs. So effectively the seller is netting out $95,000, but you're still taking a loan on $100,000. So that closing cost gets built into the loan, but effectively is no money out of pocket from you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, I got my license in Massachusetts to sell real estate, and I took the training in Mass, I took the test in Mass, and I just recently joined with Keller Williams on Shrewsbury Street in Worcester. But they allow you to have your own business within a business, which is awesome, because then you can have your own logo.
Yes.
So I have my Mass license. I'm currently waiting for my Connecticut license to come in. Should be in a few weeks. So I'm new to real estate, even though I've been in the industry doing real estate photography and TV production for the real estate TV show in Central Mass. I've seen a lot of stuff over the years, but I'm still learning the intricate details of the actual deals and what happens in those deals.
Yeah.
So I'm learning from a lot of
every deal
people.
is different, so that learning process will be forever. So yeah,
that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
People that have been in the industry forever, there's always something.
There's always
new
something
every deal.
funny that comes up. Yeah.
All right. So, and the other question everybody's going to want to know the answer to is, how long does the process take to close on a house?
Typically, you're looking at a minimum of 30 days. Ideally, we want about a 45-day window. There's a lot of things that have to happen within that time. You're out with your realtor shopping for a home, and you make an offer that gets accepted. At that point is when the clock kind of starts ticking. You get an accepted offer, and you want to close within a 45-day time frame. You still need to meet with the lender, go through all of the loan application paperwork physically, get them the documentation that they need, W-2s, tax returns, pay stubs, child support, divorce decree, all of those things. They come in, the lender starts to evaluate them, poking holes in them, asking for more documents. In the meantime, days are going by. Through that first couple weeks there, the appraisal is being done to determine value on the property. Also, you're having your home inspections done, which typically take 10 to 14 days to schedule out. So that first 2 to 3 weeks kind of gets eaten up pretty quickly. And then when you start to get into that 21 to 30 day period is where we're buttoning up the details, making sure the title is clear, finalizing any little details we may have found through processing your employment or banking or whatnot. and then getting everything bundled up and cleared and scheduled to close is about 45 days.
Very good. Great information, Joe. I appreciate it. So we're just going to button it up, and I know you have a home buying seminar coming up soon.
Yep.
On Wednesday, January 24th at 6 p.m. at Victoria Station in Putnam, but those are going to be ongoing, so people can sign up.
We're going to on-go with those. We're going to have those probably throughout the spring, and then maybe 1 or 2 in the summer, then we'll pick them back up again in the fall.
What's the way that you would prefer to people to contact you about that?
They can call me. I can get them signed up, or go onto Facebook and sign up for the event there. If you're going to call me, 860-942-3855. Otherwise, go out onto Facebook and search Northpoint Mortgage Joe Deery, and you'll see the event there, and you can actually sign for the event there.
Thanks for listening to the Real Estate Resource Podcast. My name is Tony Shabbat with Shabbat & Associates Real Estate in Northeastern Connecticut and Central Massachusetts. I'm also a real estate photographer. I do drone videos, drone photography, Matterport virtual tours, floor plans, you name it. Feel free to give me a call or check out my website. My number is 508-847-0902, and my website is prorephotography.com.